Staying in Europe, and the Catholic Church is expecting hundreds of thousands of Australians to watch the Canonisation of Mary MacKillop this Sunday. But not everyone has been swept up by Mary mania. Questions have now been raised about how miracles can be verified, and even some Catholics are sceptical about the level of commercialism surrounding the event. All this comes at a bad time for the Church, with sexual abuse scandals emerging around the world.
Mention the word miracle and some might say it's the Catholic Church that needs one the most. Before anyone is declared a saint, the Vatican needs two of these. But not everyone believes in them.
I wonder what happens to all the sick and dying people who are devout and pray earnestly to God and to saints and nothing happens and sadly they die. Who chooses? It's old, like I say, it's old thinking.
Of anyone alive today, Father Paul Gardner knows Mary MacKillop more than most. As postulator, he studied her life for 25 years. He says the focus shouldn't be about miracles, rather her spirituality and attitude to people.
Most of all, she had a sort of reverence for people, a sort of awe. I'd say a reverential awe. Now, some people might think he's talking nonsense. No, I know what I'm talking about here.
Another factor testing people's faith is Mary Inc. From documentaries, musicals, chocolate biscuits to special coins, rosaries, books. She's even on the Harbour Bridge.
I would say those people who have come in to cash in are more or less doing or selling their souvenirs very much as a way of making an honest dollar. But it's not really the Mary that we're celebrating.
Father Gardner says Mary's opinion would be quite different.
Commercialism, all right, good-o. What's she going to do? We'll make a law nobody may buy or sell anything in Panola. Well,
The canonisation has come at a time when church numbers across many denominations are falling. A report by the Christian Research Association early this year surveyed nearly 2,000 people over 16 years. It suggests 40% of Anglicans and Lutherans now describe themselves as having no religion at all. The same applies to 36% in the Uniting Church and 28% of Catholics.
And most people they're not listening to the church anymore. It's talking a foreign language set back, 200 years or something.
Father Donovan says the sexual abuse scandals have played a role in this crisis of confidence.
The church authorities didn't respond to them with a sense of care and protection.
Matthew chapter 13, I sound like a fundamentalist. Matthew chapter 13, but the net cast into the sea, it pulls in all kinds of fish, good fish and bad fish.
Ironically, it's this very area which won Mary MacKillop praise. Her excommunication was in part revenge for her sisters dobbing in a local priest for abusing children. Father Paul Gardner is at pains to clarify that it wasn't Mary MacKillop who reported the offender herself. She was simply head of the order that at the time was causing grief to church authorities. The Josephites were considered to be controversial. They were living amongst the poor, they were begging for food and money. The bishops didn't like that. Father Gardner says when she stood her ground, it was always done with style.
She did it with great respect. Never got nasty, never got personal, never got angry. She did it with reverence.
Regardless of whether people believe in miracles, religion or even God, it seems most agree she's a great Australian. Peter Jane Madam, World News Australia.